Hello YouTube, this is Nite, and this is a round 2 game between JayWix and Shade. Alright, jumping right in on the top left-hand corner of Desolatia, we have our white UEF commander opening up with some very interesting things with 1 research station and 2 land factories. It is OSS Shade, who is actually joining me today to cast this Liga B match. Shade, say hello and introduce our second player.
Hello, thank you, Nite, for having me. So in the bottom right corner, we have OSS JayWix in the orange. So he's starting with 1 research, 1 factory. Pretty standard for this map. I think I'm going a little crazy over there. The 2 factories.
Well, I don't know if y'all conspired to make similar builds. I actually very rarely do I see research stations on Desolatia.
And no, interesting build. So we'll see how this plays out. MMLs.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, what is she thinking? Walk us through what she might be thinking here.
Who knows, honestly. You know?
So this is your first cast, Shade. How do you feel?
You know, glad to be here. I've never cast before, so bear with me.
I know.
But I'm excited.
I know. I've never had a guest caster on one of these casts that I do offline, so it's certainly interesting. So I don't know if you guys should expect more of these or not, but this is an interesting experiment nevertheless. And when I told Shade that we were gonna cast her match, the first words out of her mouth was, "Oh no."
Had to pick my match, of course.
Well, honestly, yours were the 2 best matches. I was just debating between this one and the other one, like I told you about. But anyway, what are your thoughts about Desolatia? Do you like playing on this? I know all of your rounds have been on this match, on this map in Arctic.
Yeah, this in Arctic. I do like this map, but I feel like I just was not playing well these last couple of games.
Well, you are doing some interesting things with your engineers up top. I think you're about to capture that engineer. Yep, there it is.
Yep, there it is. Yeah, but the 2 factory research start was just a little too much. If you saw, I had to pause them, which I think put me a little too far behind.
Yeah, the economy, I think it was a little too hard to keep going, but I think I actually like this in this case because you're actually doing a very good job expanding. You're not that far behind on the expansion than JayWix. You actually did a great job capturing one of his mass extractors and his engineer, and you're actually up on factories. So I think you're doing fairly well right now.
It looks like we're going the mere demolishers. Pretty standard for this map, but
yeah.
See how this goes. And
you have mobile missile launchers that you produced fairly early. I was a little surprised that you didn't send those directly to that cliffside. Of course, Desolatia is fairly known for that cliffside shenanigans that can happen.
Yeah, you have to be aggressive in this map with MLs if you build them early, but I don't know. I was late to get the radar, so I just couldn't see anything.
Oh, I see.
A little spooked about where he was.
Well, like I said before, I think you guys are doing fairly well on your expansions. You're actually now going to be ahead, if only for a couple of seconds before that mass extractor goes down to those tanks. But yeah, and you're now grabbing your 4th land factory, so you're looking good. And
so up at the top there, he forgot about his tanks and let me get a PD up.
Yeah, I saw that, and you built several of those, and I was surprised that that first one went down, actually, but I guess he did have quite a bit of tanks there.
Yeah, we had a little mini war going on up there for most of the game.
So what was your game plan this match? Obviously, both of us know where it went, but what were you, like, what was it always your plan to follow up with that? Don't tell him what it's going to end with, but...
No, honestly, I wasn't sure. I was thinking I should have gone early air, which would have been a good choice, I think. But I ended up going, so he got P-shields out sooner than I did, so I ended up going P-shield spam just to match him.
So what did you tech first? Air?
No, I didn't put my points into anything. I was just kind of holding on to them.
Ah, okay, that's smart.
How the game went, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking back at it, I think maybe gunships would have been a good play here.
Well, I think that I think you did go air on this map in one of your other matches, and I actually didn't like that idea a whole lot. The only time that I see air really succeed on this map is if you're doing a kind of a transport build follow-up like Alpha Hex loves to do. I don't know if you've seen too many of those games, but transport actually, transport actually works very well. And we do see finally what you ended up going with, the Fat Boys being queued up there in the back. It's a little cheeky shade.
Yeah, it was kind of a last stand, because I knew I was going to be, after I lost that top expansion, it was just going to be a slow death. I just couldn't keep up with his production, so took a chance and went Fat Boys. So we'll see how that turns out for me.
You mean after you lost that engineer battle at the top?
Yeah. See, I lost the 2 math.
I don't think that was too bad.
I thought I would be too far behind after that.
Well, yeah, now that those mobile missile launchers are making their way up there, maybe it's going to be a little hard to deal with. But those mass extractors weren't even your own to begin with, so... so, I thought you did...
I'm greedy. I want all the mass extractors.
I see. I thought you did a really great job over there. It actually, I think even if you did make a mistake with your opening build with the 2 factories, I think that's what kept you... well in the game, if not ahead of JayWix. But right now you're starting to lose land factories to those mobile missile launchers, and I gotta say, this is classic JayWix. This is like what he loves to do, especially because he plays UEF so much. This is his lovely composition that he loves.
So what would you have done, Nite, in this position?
Well, I think that Fat Boys, or this map, is a little too small for Fat Boys, and especially when you get into compositions such as this with so many P shields, going Fat Boys this early in the game especially puts you behind on the production. And I think even if you did not start losing these factories over here, he would have outproduced you simply because he can put up many more land factories than you. And when you get into these death ball situations, you really want to keep up with first of all the mobile missile launchers and the demolishers, because if you don't, and even if you're able to keep that high ground there like you are doing right now, the problem is what JayWix is doing now is sending those MMLs up there and gonna destroy your base, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you're right. Looking back at it, I should have just continued production and try to keep up with him.
Yeah, and I think you're doing a great job in all of your games, kind of like trying to set up flanks. Even when we played the other day, you're just flanking out of nowhere, and I think you're doing a very, very good job there, especially, with, like we said, with the engineers in the early game. It's just, I think ultimately it's like I tell multiple people who might not play as much anymore. It's always like the decision of what is the most optimal. But I think your core mechanics are definitely there. And I think it's great that you're here, and maybe I'll keep doing this with more players to see what they're actually thinking in the moment, because I try to have these casts to be as an educational moment as well. But we do see your Fat Boy finally making its way. And,
my Fat Boy made it out, and those shield generators that he put down made it hard for me.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what you want to do against Fat Boys, actually. You want to get more shields or something like that, and I think JayWix's strategy selection is...
he made the right move there.
Yeah, I think that's why he won, I think. I think your micro is definitely up to par, if not better than his. But yeah, that Fat Boy is just going to have so much difficulty breaking through the shields. But and I think also maybe you could use a little bit more demolishers and mobile missile launchers, because I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of people, when they get into this dev ball composition, they build so many mobile missile launchers, and that's what JayWix has done here as well.
Yeah, definitely need to go heavy in the mobile missile launchers, and I think more P shields. But here, I started to get a little bit flustered, and I couldn't micro. The monsters will shred my army. You're
also microing in a choke point, so
true,
that's not helping you. Yeah, and unfortunately, you're still able to produce Fat Boys. Well, actually, you can't build a third one. But yeah, the long game is lost here because you lost your base. But you held up to your base at the top, so I don't know why you were panicking about losing the top fight. It's interesting to hear you say that. Watching back, it's yeah. But
and I'm also noticing now. I don't know how I didn't notice it in the game. I didn't even take that bottom expansion.
Yeah, you missed a couple, but honestly, you're ahead on mass. You were ahead on mass before he took out your base with those mobile missile launcher. That's why central control on this map is so crucial.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Yeah, and JayWix is now making his push here up top. JayWix, I gotta say, he's been playing pretty well recently, and he learned a lot of patience. I think when he started out playing last year, I don't think he had too much patience, and his composition needed some work. But now he's mastered it, I think. And oh my goodness, that's a lot of units going down.
Yeah, JayWix played really well here. I was very impressed.
Yeah, and you're still flanking. You're still flanking him, even though there's pities, and somehow you managed to get a third Fat Boy out. Fortunately, it's gonna die in record time here.
Yeah, it didn't do too much there, but still a fun game.
Yeah, definitely
played well there. Or JayWix played well there.
Yeah, and I think the first game that you guys played on Arctic was just a little unfortunate. I'm going to have a little section covering that, but unfortunately, you do go down here in game 2. But yeah, it's been very fun having you on your first cast. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I guess, do you have anything else to say?
No, I think that's it. Thank you, Nite, for having me. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I definitely think you should keep doing this with having a player cast. Because I think it's interesting to see their point of view. Especially as they watch the game.
Especially, and I think it helps, hopefully, it helps you guys also improve and maybe talk through it as well. So in the future, when I need one of these done, I'll hit you up. How about that?
I'm always down.
All right, there we go. Well, guys, we're going to jump into recap of game 1 of this series. And also, I'll show you the league table at the end of the first 3 rounds. Game 1 was played on Arctic Refuge with Shade going Cybran, opening up with a double air factory on Arctic Refuge, of course, and her opponent, of course, going with a similar strategy, again mirroring her with 2 air factories. Very interesting situation here. Let's see how it unfolds. Shade, probably thinking that she is up on air production, is going to go and try looking for the radar, but unfortunately she is met with a very large air force of JayWix and loses her whole entire air force early in the game. JayWix proceeds to get the expansions in the top left of the map and the bottom right, building land factories to set up flanks and causing Shade to split her attention. Fortunately, however, even with great flanks coming from Shade, ultimately JayWix wins both the flanks and jumps into a pretty heavy lead on mass production. JayWix slowly continues to press forward in the center while flanking his opponent beautifully until Shade mismicros her ACU, walking into the majority of JayWix's forces in the center, losing the game. 2-0, JayWix wins. If you're still watching, give a thumbs up to this video. If you liked the video, leave a comment. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you are blown away by it, check out my Patreon page. This has been Nite. Take care and peace out.